Hi guys, welcome back to our Stone My Side's Fine Good. Subscribe and like, let's go.
Hello everyone, and just yesterday the second part of Skibidi Zombie Until the End plot arc finally came out, and there are supposed to be 3 of them in total. And I don't know what's going to happen in the third part yet, but the second one already blew my mind because of how crazy and heartbreaking it was. The Alliance just can't stop catching L's left and right. So not only did the Knight get teleported to the SCP universe without his special stuff, but another great character also has to go to heaven in this episode. And was this sacrifice actually worth reviving Titan Cameraman? And what's going to happen next? Will the Plague Doctor actually be the winner after all, or the Alliance still has a chance to do something against him? So if you want to learn all the answers to these questions, then get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end, because it's going to be really insane, and let's go. But before I'll start digging into episode 58, which is the second part of this arc, let me remind you real quick about the events of the previous episodes so you won't get too confused about what has actually been going on. So in episode 57, we saw the battle intensifying like crazy as the effects of Titan Clockman's time bomb finally wear off. So the zombie titans, which were ordered around by the enraged Plague Doctor, led a powerful army that included large infected Skibidi Toilets, zombie Speaker Striders, and our old buddy Zombie Dark Speaker Man, as all of them prepared to fight dirty against the newly formed Titan Trio. Titan Clockman showcased his incredible new abilities, which included time manipulation and some powerful physical weaponry, and all of that allowed him to easily dominate over Zombie Titan Cameraman and put him down real quick. Meanwhile, we could see how G-Man actually struggled against Titan TV Man and needed some backup in that fight. So keep that in mind for now, because then the episode switched to Tri-Titan, whose abilities we all couldn't wait to see already. And in case you don't remember, Tri-Titan actually arrived to this universe from the Verlance's Skibidi Wars multiverse, and long story short, this guy and his powers are just crazy. So the highlight of the fight was Tri-Titan's overwhelming power against Zombie Titan Speakerman, and we could see how he ultimately destroyed his opponent with an attack so powerful that it may permanently erase him from this world with no means of coming back. So as the Titan Trio continued to overpower the zombie army, our focus then shifted to Plungerman, who was still viewed as a traitor by the Alliance. Speaker Woman and Adrenaline Speakerman were nearly ready to execute him, but Skibidi intervened instead, which led to a tense but ultimately peaceful resolution. Although we still should keep in mind that Plungerman is not exactly free for now. Meanwhile, we also see what happened to Red Titan Drillman, who got already so exhausted with this war, so that when he finally gets a chance to return to his home universe with the help of the Knight, he takes it immediately, and that's how his story ends. However, the Plague Doctor and Zombie Dark Speaker Man manage to ambush the Knight and steal both his core and portal opening stuff. The Knight pleads SCP Dave to end the conflict, but the Plague Doctor decides to banish him back to the SCP universe without any weapons and trap him there forever. And as episode 57 ends, Titan Clockman activates another time bomb and plans to do something about this horrible situation. And in today's episode, we'll see exactly how it's going to play out. So it starts with Titan Clockman, who set off a time bomb, and as the time got currently frozen, he tries to rejuvenate Zombie Titan Cameraman so that the Alliance would get one more Titan back on their side. But unfortunately, this also means that the Knight has been left truly on his own without any help. While in my analysis of the last episode, I thought that the Clockman's goal was actually to bring the Knight back. Well, as it turned out, I was wrong. And to be honest, the Knight's situation makes me really sad now. Anyway, so Titan Clockman sacrifices a large amount of time controlling powers from the flasks on his body so that Titan Cameraman could be revived. And he actually succeeds in it. And as the cameraman comes back to life, he even gives us the thumbs up, which really evoked my nostalgia. Because when was the last time some agents showed this gesture to us? This brings me a little bit of hope, even despite everything that the Alliance has been going through for now. But I also found it funny how right after showing this gesture, Titan Cameraman faints again. It really made me chuckle a little bit. Well, and meanwhile, the Plague Doctor is obviously not happy that one of his zombie titans got revived from the virus, so he yells no. But that's not the end of all the surprises yet. Because in the next second, we see how the Speakerman's flying ship slowly approaches out location. And this means that the Alliance sent more reinforcements to help our Titans trio in the battle with SCP Dave. And now we'll see something truly insane. And aside from Speakermen, We also see that a new squad of cameramen also arrived, and both races are well equipped and ready for any sorts of trouble. So Speakermen start attacking zombie minions from air right away, while the cameraman squad acts like an on-land army and uses their guns for mid-distance fight. Now we're talking. But aside from dealing with the Plague Doctor's horde, these reinforcements were actually sent for one more purpose, and it's to take the body of still unconscious Titan cameraman away to the Alliance's base so that his revival wouldn't be wasted in vain in case he'd be accidentally damaged or destroyed on the battlefield in such a state. Meanwhile, we're getting back to Plungerman, who recently restored his friendly ties with Speakerwoman. So their company, including Skibidi and Adrenaline Speakerman, is now planning to do something against the Plague Doctor while they still have a chance. And for now, Plungerman explains his comrades what exactly he needs the special cores for and how he can control the Plague Doctor's minions with it. And thankfully, all the guys believed Plungerman quite easily this time, and we saw no quarrel about it. Although Adrenaline Speakerman still pointed it pretty clear that he'll be watching Plungerman's actions no matter what. So he better not do anything stupid. Pretty fair in my opinion. And now the guys are setting for some real action. But on the other hand, the Plague Doctor also realizes that some special operation will be held against him, so he prepares for the worst and orders his elite zombie warriors to protect him and to stop Plungerman's team. And when both sides stopped showing off finally, an epic battle begins. And once again, we can see how incredible Adrenaline Speakerman's speed and powers are, and he is able to fight even such a dangerous opponent as Zombie Dark Speakerman with no visible issues. Speakerwoman and Skibidi also successfully deal with Zombie Big Cameraman on her own, while Plungerman faces Jim Bro Mutant as he goes on searching for the cores all alone. And wait a minute, but this guy isn't even infected? So why the hell is he fighting Plungerman instead of helping the Alliance fight the Plague Doctor's army? So apparently this dummy has no idea about Plungerman still being on the Alliance's side and that his traitor status should already be lifted. So he probably thinks that Plungerman wants to steal the cores so that he'd keep helping the Plague Doctor, even though in reality it's totally different, but the poor mutant doesn't know about this as he wasn't updated. And now Plungerman is in the pretty tough position, as well as he is obliged to kind of fight his comrade who is just clueless about everything. So they start fighting for real. And as Plungerman wants to save as much time as possible, he accidentally pushes it too hard and simply unalives the Jim Bro mutant, and in the pretty brutal way too. Man, this is just not a very good look for him at all, but I believe that he'll have to deal with the consequences of it later. And what I also noticed in this scene is how during this brutal moment, the Plungerman's head camera blinked in red color for a split second. So does that mean that the evil still lives inside of Dave's mind? You know, his evil personality, which was shown to us when he ordered around the Plague Doctor's minions, but then came back to reality. Damn. Adrenaline must have been right about watching Plungerman, because this dude still can do something pretty nasty out of blue. And by the way, speaking of Adrenaline, ironically enough, he didn't see the moment when Dave destroyed his own comrade because he got knocked out by the Dark Speakerman, which makes the whole situation even more eerie. But at least Speakerman saw what just happened, and I believe that they will report it right away, so once again, Plungerman is in the pretty big trouble anyway. Meanwhile, the Plague Doctor just gets off reels with his lust for blood as he commands for more unaliving and destruction. As if it wasn't done enough already, man. And in this moment, Tri-Titan appears on the horizon and plans to simply demolish this little bug. And just in the moment when I expected to see the Plague Doctor fail, something unexpected happened. Instead of moving around SCP, Dave stays still and opens a portal with the weapon stolen from the Knight, so that Tri-Titan got teleported away, and somehow he actually succeeds in it. And given the fact that the Knight is helpless right now and is sent to a different universe too, no one can bring Tri-Titan back here, which really makes me depressed. And now Tri-Titan's unique abilities that allow destroying zombie freaks for good are also lost for us. And the Alliance has been left on his own once again. Although there still is a possibility that Delete Men will somehow intervene and start hunting the Plague Doctor down as it was their initial goal. But their positioning in this war is still not clear enough. So this option just hangs in the air for now. So the Plague Doctor celebrates his first victory against the new Titans trio. And in this moment, Plungerman appears behind his back and shoots him from the gun that Adrenaline handled to him. And it causes the activation of all the magnets that got not only on SCP Dave's body, but also on the bodies of his minions. All of this causes some huge havoc, in the process of which the Plague Doctor loses his cores and they fall on the ground. As Plungerman rushes towards the cores, the Plague Doctor plans another truly insane move. He breaks the axe containing the red core so that he could use the core directly, and then opens a giant portal that teleports all of his minions to the sky, which then causes literal rain of zombies. And however silly this move can look like, but it actually works. The zombies are now spread all over the location, and they either immediately destroy and infect poor agents that were caught off guard, or they will hunt them down eventually as they have a territorial advantage now. This is just a giant mess, y'all. Titan Clockman gets ready to defend himself no matter what, because right now he is one of the most valuable Titans left in this universe, as Tri-Titan and Titan Siren are lost. Meanwhile, G-Toilet gets ready to fight with Zombie Titan TV Man, and this is where it gets really nasty. So even though G-Man was saved by Titan Clockman in the previous episode from the corrupting power of the Hephaestus core, now the history repeats itself, and G-Man starts getting devoured by the core's powers once again. And right now it is simply not possible that Titan Clockman would be able to rewind time and save Jimmy once again, because he already wasted all of his time-controlling energy onto Titan Cameraman's revival. So yeah, I believe that this time G-Man won't be able to escape from his sad fate, and it is time for him to go. But of course he won't give up that easily. He still tries to fight Zombie TV Man, but of course the giant freak notices that Jimmy is getting betrayed by his own body, so he uses this opportunity to nasty strike him in the most vulnerable moment. G-Man gets knocked to the ground by the TV Man's tentacles, and in this moment he looks around in order to see whether anyone would be able to come help him or not. But of course all that Jimmy sees is how everyone has huge troubles on their own in the moment, which means that G-Man is just all alone here. And he either lets himself get destroyed and do something with his last breath. And we all know G-Man, because in this multiverse, he is literally the biggest Chad among anyone else. And even in this truly hopeless situation, he is ready to save his friends at the cost of his own life. So even though he barely has any powers to move, he still gets up and gives his last fight. So as Zombie Titan TV Man slowly approaches him, G-Man gets off the ground and attacks the freak with his iconic yellow blades that pierce his opponent's body. But his goal was not to apply damage on TV Man, but to make him stand still so that G-Man would have an opportunity to get him into his deathly grip and simply take the freak's life together with his own. He then activates the core's destructive powers to the max, and Jimmy's body starts literally melting as the core destroy it together with Titan TV Man's, who is still getting held tightly by G-Man's arms. And even though G-Man must have been consumed by an insane amount of pain, he still makes his plan work and make every second of his living count. And in the end, we see the release of the huge energies explosion that melts everything and everyone on its way. But even in this moment, G-Man still fights for his life. The TV Man Titan's body is already consumed by the core's powers, but somehow Jimmy is still standing even though he's clearly in the agony. He tries to rip off the Hephaestus core from his body, but it's simply too late now, as it already became a self-destructing part of his own body. So Jimmy realizes that it's really the end now, so he stops fighting, closes his eyes, and simply accepts his inevitable fate. And after that, the core consumes G-Man's body completely, and in the end, we see just the Hephaestus core laying on the ground. Titan Clockman approaches it and probably thinks about the possibility of reviving G-Man again. But then he realizes that his time-controlling energy has almost run out. And besides, the core's powers has his own rules too. And apparently once it consumes someone's body, there's no turning back from that. Titan Clockman realizes that the best character of the entire zombie Skibidi universe is lost forever. So he beats the ground in anger and grief. But what can be done now? G-Man is gone. But at least he's gone like a hero, which we'll never forget. And that was all for today. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel so you will not miss my new cool videos. And also, don't forget to